And the bells are ringing. Ring them. Okay. Sky Squad, we are back in the building this morning for the Belle Collective Season 2 Reunion Part 2. And I guess I should say this afternoon. Now, I wanted to get this out earlier today, but listen, there was some other pressing news that we had to get to first. And so here we are right now with our recap of the Belle Collective Season 2 Reunion. And oh, what a season it was. Okay. Now, shout out to everybody who is in the building on this good Saturday. I appreciate you because you could be anywhere in the world right now, but you chose to be here with us. So we're going to make it worth your while today as we discuss this reunion recap. All right. So obviously, all right. Obviously, we got to talk about the headline, which is Tambra exposing the plot, baby, to take down the Bells from Belle Collective. But who, oh, who, all right, was the orchestrator of said plot? Oh, yes, according to Tambra, it was that good old Taisha. Taisha has set about to destroy the Bells, okay? That Taisha had allegedly sent emails to production in order to cast the Bells in a negative light. Allegedly, let me put the alleged badge down here. Allegedly, it was Taisha who had tea on all the Bells from the get-go, baby. From the get-go. So let me tell you something. On reality TV, it always seems to be that there is a wannabe character who is waiting in the wings in order to have some level of notoriety that comes along with the fame of the show. Okay. Now, here's what is allegedly happening. Taisha is the decorator for not only Latrice, Letitia, and Marie, but she is also the decorator of, I believe, last season's reunion set. Oh, yes, Taisha's around. Taisha is around. Okay. And so, according to Tambra, Taisha was trying to spill tea to the producers on every last one of the Bells, perhaps even Letitia included, who has been friends with her for years. And apparently, um, Taisha is got close ties to this group, even through Mr. Glendale. Okay, because I believe that was Glenn was her ex brother-in-law. Okay. Taisha got a lot going on. Taisha should have been at the reunion. Okay. Boom, Soul Diva. Taisha should have been there to speak for herself. Okay. That's what should have happened. They should have waltzed Taisha out onto that stage. Okay. Where nobody can leave and have Taisha respond to these allegations herself. Okay. Because if you thirsty, as is being alleged, let's make her own up to all of this. Okay. That's what I want to know. Say all of this stuff that you apparently saying to the producers to me. All right. But we'll get into that further when we get to it. Because right now we have more pressing matters to discuss. Number one, we need to discuss our rating for the reunion itself. For a reunion part 2, I'm going to give this episode an 8. I want to know what you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay. I'm going to give it an 8. because there were several lingering questions that I still had. Did Taisha and Greedy, aka Damon, ever kiss? That question was not answered directly, at least from what I saw on my screen. Okay. I do wish that Taisha was there to respond to some of this. Okay. Um, I felt like this was cute. It was nice. Everything kind of was wrapped up with a nice little positive bow, I suppose. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of feel like, yeah, it was cute. It was cute. It was cute. Okay. Let me know what you guys rated in the conversation down below. Oh, yes. I kind of wanted more of So Gucci and the girls because that conversation really didn't go everywhere that I felt like we would have liked for it to go. Okay. So there's that. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of it because I mean, these are the highlights. In the case of is Glenn the baby's father of she who shall not be named, because we don't know her name, is Glendale the father? He is not the father, okay? Glenn squeals, I told you, 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 man. And he declares his everlasting love for Letitia. Now, if only he would stay off of the Instagram and stay out of those DMs, I think he might be on the way back to igniting the love that obviously exists betwixt the two of them. All right. Um, Letitia has been waiting on this a long time. She was a shaking and a rattling and a rolling, okay, with the tremors and everything, just waiting on pins and needles. And she says she's been waiting on this a long time. Personally, I don't know what took so long. I would have been demanding that this man take a paternity test the moment I found out about this whole baby, and we wouldn't have been finding out at this reunion. We would have found out the moment I found out that there was an alleged baby. Okay. So she breaks down. Carlos gives a very impassioned speech. This is probably one of the best parts of the reunion. He gives this impassioned speech about women having to put their dreams on hold on the back burner at the expense of their men. And it's not fair that women have to hold down their passions because some other woman might come in and swoop her man because she dared to dream. I said, woo, like, listen, any other man that said anything else after that, unless they echoed Carlos King's statement, they was going to be looked at as foul and facetious. Okay. Because after he made that, really, you couldn't, there was, I mean, the men really, they had to step up their game after that speech because it was the truth. And it was really the cautionary tale of Letitia, a woman who dared to try to build her own empire, and the man who allegedly um wanted all of her time and attention to the detriment of her dreams. And when she dared to chase those dreams, he found and sought attention elsewhere. Okay. Um this is not, it's not funny, but it's true. Congratulations, you are not the father, but you still cheated, allegedly. All right. Carlos said that. Okay. He did say that. So the next segment is the men defending their women. There's a question of whether or not Cliff slept with one of JJ's exes. JJ believes that he did. Cliff says that he did not sleep with this woman. He was wide awake. Okay. So Carlos rephrases the question. Did you have relations with JJ's ex while you were awake? Okay. And Cliff answers, yes, he did. But apparently this was way before Latrice. Likely sometime shortly after Latrice was born. Okay. And so I just had to laugh at that part, honestly. Anyway, we get into the Tambra and demand of it all. All right. Um, and the question is, did Greedy, aka Damon, and Taisha ever have a relationship or date? Damon says no, we were friends. Carlos says, did you guys ever have intimate relations? Damon says no. Carlos says, did you ever kiss? Damon shuffles in his seat. Okay. That was not an answer to me. Did they cut out the answer to that question? Did I miss it? Did my TV skip a beat? Did I blink? Did I turn my attention away from the television? Because I didn't see nothing but a shuffle. Okay. To me, that question was not answered. Did you or did you not put your mouth on this woman's mouth? And did y'all kiss and play tonsil hockey? That's what I need to know. That's what I need to know. Did you kiss? Because what it says to me is if you guys had some sort of impassioned kiss at any point in time, it does go a long way into saying that at some point in time, there was a gesture that led this woman to believe something could potentially happen at some point in time, and it gives us a clue as to whether or not you at some point in time might have given her an inclination that there may be something more. But even that does not give her the right to try to destroy what he has now. But I'm saying it would explain why there are some level of feelings there and why she may have some type of emotional connection to this man. So when that question is asked, I need an answer, okay? Because as a viewer, I left that conversation completely and utterly dissatisfied. Okay? I did. I did. All right. So for me, I don't know. We can't really get a response to it. Anyway, Damon then shuffles and says, well, she could have done all this years ago, which again leads me to believe that years ago, did you kiss or not? Okay. Did you kiss or not? So anyway, Tambra says, well, it was the show. She lied to get on the show and she's infatuated with Damon. She's been lying to people all her life. She needs a better, and Tambra says, I need a better character witness. And Carlos is like, well, Tambra, why is you so hype? And then that's when Tambra reveals the tea that allegedly, ever since season 1, Taisha allegedly went to producers and said she had dirt on everybody, including her friend Letitia. Whew. This is why I say we needed to have Taisha in the building. Because Taisha, if you've been doing all of this, you need to answer for that. Okay? You need to answer for that. Tambra says that the woman zeroed in on her, and that's when she started texting Damon asking what y'all going on. And she says she told Damon to tell this woman absolutely nothing. Now, I will say, Miss Taisha, if this is the case, then you foul for that. You cannot allow your desire to be on the scene and on the screen to overtake and overwhelm your ability to have the foresight to recognize that your ability, that your willingness and desire for fame to outweigh your ability to work. Let me break that down for you. If Taisha was the reunion decorator in season 1, if Taisha was decorating for Marie, if Taisha was decorating for Letitia, if Taisha was doing Latrice's marriage, that meant Taisha was working. And to me, I'm just gonna tell y'all the truth. Dollars are the only thing that makes sense, okay? Because at the end of the day, your desire for fame, okay, is going to cut into your ability to make work. How am I going to hire you as a decorator in the future, knowing that my previous work with you, in my previous work with you and dealings with you, the information that I may have shared with you ain't safe. And because of your desire for fame, allegedly, you will now take stuff that I could have said to you during the process of us working together, and you would take that to producers in order to get yourself some fame on the show. So instead of getting dollars from working on the show, you wanted fame and your face being on the show in notoriety as it pertains to possibly looking like you might be somebody's mistress. How does that make sense emotionally? Allegedly, excuse me. Make it make sense to me. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Give me the money any day, okay? I'll decorate your set. I'll decorate every event y'all do because the checks are cashing, okay? The checks are obviously cashing. And if they didn't cash from the event I did, they gonna cash from the fact that that Latrice, Marie, Letitia gonna tell other people that you the decorator. And if they telling people that you the decorator, that means they done told production you the decorator. So that production is now wanting you to come in and decorate the set, which I know you're not doing for free. Make it make sense. You can't make it make sense because ain't no dollars involved. So now you have done this for fame, for some time on the television screen, and you ain't even get paid for it. You ain't even get paid for it, boo. You didn't even get paid for it. I know you didn't get paid for this. I can't fathom a production company that would pay somebody who's willing to go through such lengths to be on the show when you was already making money allegedly from building sets and decorating. Now, most likely, you ain't decorating for the show no more. I mean, dang on it. Dang on it. Anyway, Glenn, okay, was apparently that was her sister-in-law at some point in time, or he's her ex-brother-in-law, something like that. Letitia's confused. Anyway, we learned that Glenn wasn't really here for her like that. And Damon says that he's been dealing with this since last August and he couldn't defend himself. I guess because he didn't want to go at it with a woman or nothing like that. And then we find out that Damon and Tambra are still together. They living together. At that point, Damon says, unfortunately. That sounds real strange to me to say about the woman that you been claiming to want to be like, it don't make no sense to me. Like, I think about, I mean, if you think about yourself and you think, I mean, even if he was being sarcastic, that's a real odd statement to make, unfortunately. Like, and then she got to clean it up. Oh, well, no, it's that I'm just OCD. Okay, that means you like a clean house. I'm fine with you being OCD because I want to learn how to be. I don't want to necessarily learn how to be OCD, but what I like is the effects of what happens when you are around OCD people. OCD people tend to like certain things a certain type of way. I'm amenable to that, okay? Because you've given me a pattern to follow. So you like things neat and organized. Let me be neat and organized too. So let me learn from that. Learn that from you. Now, I guess if it gets to be dangerous or something like that, then that's when we got a problem. But just his statement about unfortunately, it just didn't sit, it just didn't ring. The bell didn't ring right in my head for me. Okay. The bell didn't read right in my head for me. So I had to wonder about that. Anyway, they still planning on having a baby. She's not expecting at the moment. And you know, the doctors have given her the instructions to have intimacy the natural way. Okay. That's the way I could put it for the words of YouTube. Okay, just let me just that's why I'm stating it the natural way. Okay. I don't know about that situation, y'all. I just maybe he got a weird sense of humor and I just don't understand it. All I know is Tambra, keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open and just and do your thing and continue to be successful. That's all I know. All right. Everybody watch out for Taisha, allegedly. Hide your kids, hide your husbands. Anyway, allegedly. We get to Akeisha and Willie. He's more comfortable in Jackson. The end. We get to Latrice, Cliff, and the baby. Okay. Baby update. All right. Latrice says they have a lot to work on, and and he's gonna support her. He's gonna give her time, and how did it feel hearing that Latrice married somebody that was like her father? Cliff says it turned out great. Carlos asked, was her mama right? Did she really marry somebody like her dad? And she says, absolutely. She breaks down over not having her father around, and that's likely the reason why she wanted to date an older guy. But she says that they have a lot to work on, and right now she doesn't want it. Now, the things that they have to work on, I'm not quite clear on. I mean, maybe it was, the arguments that they were having near the end of the season about him raising his voice at her or something like that. I cannot recall what those issues are exactly, but I guess maybe we'll see what those issues are when they come back for season 3. Because if you watch my interview with her yesterday, she did say she was coming back for season 3. All right. Carlos then fills in the gap and basically says it's okay not to want to have a baby, and it's okay to choose you because the child will ultimately be the person who is affected by the decision to have the child and you not really wanting the child. And I agree. Carlos thanks the men for coming out, and then poof, they're gone. Glenn and Letitia talk during the break. She applauds him for wanting to step up and be a good dad if that baby was indeed his. They do talk about dating again, and suddenly he's very interested in seeing her become the person she was meant to be. Okay, girl, fulfill your destiny. This girl is on fire. Okay. Um, you see, everybody didn't change their tune after Carlos gave that speech. Okay, I told y'all they couldn't say or do nothing different because Carlos gave a speech that set them on fire. Okay, and anything they have said after that seemed like it was contrary to what he said, they would have been looked at as like pathetic. Okay. Um. Next, all right, it's time for Saguchi and JJ and them girls. All right. Now, according to D, which is Saguchi's biological daughter, things are still shaky, and she thinks a lot more therapy is needed to take place for them to get to a healthy place. Sanjay, I think that's her name, who is JJ's biological daughter, feels the same way, but they haven't had a down to earth conversation yet. So the color issue comes up. Now, I'm going to keep it all the way 100 right now. Maybe it's because I'm colorblind, but I don't see too much difference in the way, in the exact shade hue of melanin of D versus the girls, versus JJ's daughters. Now, granted, JJ's daughters may be a few shades lighter than D, but D to me still looks light skinned to me. So it's just, I think maybe, and it again, it could be because I'm colorblind. And y'all, Lord, please forgive me, because I am not trying to be disrespectful in any way to this discussion. Because we know that colorism is an issue that exists within the community, and as such needs to be spoken about with the utmost care and respect. And I am attempting to do so. But I am also attempting to be as real with you as possible. I guess I just don't see the big difference between the two complexions. I don't. Okay? And from what I can see, a lot of y'all feel the same way. And I think the issue probably lies more in this, as JJ stated, and as Tiffany M points out. I think the problem is that JJ's girls are probably just more well known, and as such were probably treated slightly different because they are so well known and were working in television in comparison to D. Now, I cannot explain why them girls would tell her that she was dirty when they was all taking showers back in the day. Now, that I can't account for. But what I can account for is, I think this might be more along the lines of what the issues was. Okay? Um but I do think, Nia, as you stated, that this is sibling stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody has a perspective. I have a different perspective on how I was treated versus how my sister was treated as kids growing up. But ultimately, again, I do think that this boils down to sibling things. And to be quite honest, it's perspective. Period. That's what it feels like to me. And then D coming into a situation in a family that's already well known, it may be a difficult adjustment that as you're growing up, it's hard to understand. Period. That's what it feels like to me. Sheila says, I experienced colorism in my family also, and people consider me light skinned, but not in my family. And see, so listen, again, it, that could have been a real thing. I don't know. I guess it's just difficult for me because I'm like, all y'all look the same, like the same light skin to me. But again, I'm colorblind, so I mean, what do I know? Someone says, common sense says, have you saw the girl's mom? They have it honest, smart, nasty comments. I don't know who the mom is. I've never watched the other show. I've never watched Bring It, so I don't know much about the mom, unfortunately. I would like to say that if I had time, I would watch that show, But I have to tell you guys that Tiffany G says those girls are not the same color. Absolutely not. But are they that far apart in color, Tiffany? To you? Because again, to me, they don't look that far off. California Cutie can't see that much difference either. I was gonna say something else, but I forgot what I was gonna say. But I will say this. Let me say this. I do think and I do like the fact that the color issue is being addressed. And I think it's important because when you highlight these conversations, you make it okay for people to talk about how they really feel. And that's important to discover. Period. So, anyway, so Gucci, as she did state in my interview with her, feels responsible for maybe not instilling in her daughter how beautiful she actually is. And I ain't gonna lie, all of the girls are beautiful. I mean, but D is gorgeous, in my opinion. So I don't, again, this is an individual thing, and I don't know her experience, so I can't speak to it. But the woman, I mean, the girl is literally drop dead gorgeous. So i- they all look good to me, but that's just me. And again, I'm a man, so it's hard to say. All right, it's hard to say. Anyway, and y'all know how kids can be sometimes. Sometimes kids can just be mean and not know, and and fall into the spirit of being mean. So maybe that could be a part of it because kids will be kids. All right. Meanwhile, we discussed Marie and her family. Marie's not giving up on her mama. Tambra's hosting more. Latrice is trying to build about 30 Airbnbs, and 2 of them are off the ground. Akeisha formed a group to submit a proposal to build on Fair Street. Saguchi's taking a broker class, expanding a business, looking for a building for the boot camp. And Letitia's coming out with a self-care book, and she's partnering with Marie. And that is the end of the Belle Collective for season 3. I will tell you that I thoroughly enjoyed this season. It did feel like early seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I love this show. I'm excited to see what they bring in for season 3. I hope that they add at least one more Belle. I mean, because I always believe in keeping things fresh and exciting. And that way, you never feel like you are only reliant on certain talent in order to make the thing go round. They need to bring in another person that's a little bit like Akeisha, that'll speak her mind and say exactly what she think, and sometimes stick their foot in their mouth, and keep things moving. That's what I would do. That would be my suggestion. Mr. Carlos King and Kingdom Reign Entertainment and OWN TV. Bring in one more good old Belle to mix things up and make things pop and happen, and keep that cycle moving so you always have new talent coming in. But other than that, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I love this season. Y'all know I love y'all. I'm tired of working for the day. I'm uber tired. I've done 3 videos, and it's time for me to take a break. All right? Y'all know I love y'all, and I will catch y'all in the next video.